It has been a while, and as you can see, we are out walking the doggos first thing in the morning, which is what we always do. But yeah, it's been a few years off the old YouTube. But if you know me, you know that I love the sound of my own voice. So if you follow me on Instagram, you'll see that I do post stuff. But we're going to do a day in the life. I thought I'd start with a day in the life, and also for those that do know me, not everyone will know, but we were prepping. We were prepping after those videos from what, 2.5, 3 years ago. We was prepping for this year, but we had to pull out. So I'll go into why. But yeah, we're back. We'll get some vlogging going, probably once, twice a week. Not sure yet. But it's going to be everything: PEDs, prep, training, what am I doing, dogs, food, misses. Hey, don't worry, you're a bit far away. But this morning, today is a Saturday, so what you have joined us on, I'll go through why I decided not to prep later, but you have joined us on the day of cheats. Ain't that right, Em?
Yeah.
Of cheats. Well, I say cheats. Obviously, in terms of my training and everything, I'll go through, but what we will be starting meal one. Meal one is a weekly Saturday, what's the word, travel 5 minutes down the road to Blue Garden Cafe, where I'm going to be having a load of pancakes, not a full English, before a big leg day. So I'll see you there. It has been a while. I'm actually going to click on the YouTube to see when the last video was. 3 years ago. 3 years ago. It has been a long time. So a lot has happened since then. But first things first. Morning supplementation. Now I don't have everything, and you guys got to realise that when you're seeing this, and you understand in a bit when I talk about why I stopped the prep. Bit of a hobby builder at the moment. Probably the first time in literally 5 years that I am not completely to a meal plan. Like, I know my bodybuilding food, you'll see that, I'll show you my food, full day of eating, whatnot, bar the first meal. But like I say, I'm kind of eating what I want. My body weight stood like at the same bit, pretty much just maintaining and enjoying training 4 times a week. But no, in terms of supplementation, I will be going through that in these videos as much as I can. First things first, I try and get at least half a litre of this in first thing. I'll be getting this in after the walk. So I have at the moment, I'm going to use monotherapy in T4. I'll go into that in another video. But this water, I actually put a bit of pink salt in and a bit of taurine. So post this failed prep, whatever you want to call it, I'm just finding that I'm just tight. My muscles seem super tight. I'm someone who just seems to need a lot of salt to not cramp, almost hydrate. So I do put pink salt and taurine in here. Normally I would have glutamine as well. If I want to put my creatine in there, I will. There is nothing fancy about putting glutamine and creatine in there in the morning, but the taurine, like I say, helps with my cramping, etc, of what I'm doing there as well. And then I haven't got any supplements at the moment. The PEDs are down, but that's for the next video. We'll talk about the fun stuff, which is the PEDs, the kind of what we did before prep, what we did during prep. For those that don't know, I was coached by Sas Harati. I hope I said his name right. And if you follow bodybuilding, you know who that is. And he's competing at the moment. He's absolutely unbelievable. And he's also an unbelievable coach. But like I say, I'm a hobby builder. So before we go, hey, it's not even sugar free. Get this monster down me as well. But one thing I would say, if you are watching this, and this is going to be the first video of weekly or bi-weekly updates, like I said, any feedback is good. Like, I could use the mic, potentially saying, Cal, you're absolutely butters. Please move the screen away from your ugly face. That could be good. But yeah, like, this is obviously, it's a Saturday. Saturday when I'm doing this, so it's not a Saturday when I go out. Saturday can be a busy day for check-ins, like in the coaching. Anyone that doesn't know, I'm a full-time online coach. I've been for like 6-7 years. Tomorrow seems to be the day where I kind of have that 15 to 20 check-ins, which for me in one day is a lot. I do things like check-ins across the whole week. Oh, what's that there? Across the whole week, so I can spread out all my clients over 7 days. But for now, with everything, with bodybuilding, like I say, we'll go through the plans and what exactly I'm doing. Right, we are off for meal 1. But obviously, like I said, with these videos, the last time you saw me, I think I was living at home, and I can't remember what. So I thought I'd do a little life update whilst we're on our way, and my beautiful fiance is holding the camera for me until I put this magnetic thing in the car and I become Sam Sulek, but I'm a lot better looking than I. In terms of, so life has changed a lot. Like I say, fiance number 1. Number 2, we have moved. We got our own place, and I know a lot of people I see who watch this nearby know a lot of this, but there will be people that do not know, and they must know. So yeah, we got a new place. Gus came with them, and then we got Herbie as well. So that when you see those clips of us walking, Herbie's the big foxhound, Gus is the little cavapoo. Coaching is really good, best it's ever been pretty much in terms of most clients on the current setup of like how much they pay, and yeah, the gym is no longer, I don't think I was training down physical, but if I was, I can't remember. I think I was training down Ironworks. Weirdly enough, I'm wearing an Ironworks jumper in a minute, but it was physical change. Physical got bought by Sparks. Actually, I was probably in Basildon, wasn't I? I can't remember. Basildon Pit Seat. So yeah, there's been a few things life-wise going on. We're a few more cycles deep. We've got more muscle behind us. But yeah, like I say, to be honest, apart from that, I don't really know what else has happened life-wise, to be honest. Just plodding along 3 years later. And yeah, I will be in the cafe in a second. I'm very excited for my pancakes before legs, pre-leg pancakes. And then yeah, we'll be training. And I'll probably go through the leg session. It's my leg 2 session, first time I've done it. So, but we'll have some pre-workout when we get home. I'll show you the pre-workout, the supplements. Although I'm pretty low on supplements at the moment because I thought, I'll let them all go after prep and then kind of buy a bulk of what's going on. But yeah, I'm going to the cafe, so got to park up. Let's go. Biscoff. Look, that is not my pre-workout meal. This, you can't see the pancakes, but there's loads of pancakes, mate. Oh, Nutella bananas. This is my pre-workout meal with I've already had 2 muffins pre-workout for legs, and we will be having 4 IUs of Nova because I like to. It keeps me lean and it works. But yeah, I'm not going to film in here for ages, but that is the pre-workout meal. So that is meal 1, full day of eating. So intra time, pre-workout time for anyone, because I know people are interested. Ignore the state of our house throughout these vlogs because we have dogs and that's our excuse. So pre-workout wise, I've been currently running this. So one source, off the spectrum, nootropic based stim pre-workout. Panel's really good, really strong. But I like the nootropic. I like the focus element of my pre's. And to be fair, they've actually given me a sample of Pumped, which I've used before, which is basically their pump product. So I run a scoop of stim. So like that kind of intensity, whatever you want to call it, intensity, energy that you get through the workout, bit nootropic. Whereas the pump one, again, I think, again, there's kind of a nootropic element to it, but also works on that vasodilation, that pump. And then the fun parts. I say the fun parts. So I would say you're only really gonna, I'm not sure why it went on my chest there. So let me go again. This is the fun part. So I'm not sure. I'd say this is more for the advanced lifters, because essentially some of you might run L-carnitine and know what it is. Some might not. It just aids in fat loss, aids in that mobilization of free fatty acids, etc., etc. Works very nicely with cleaning your him when on a cut, but I like to run it year round at the moment. So we've got L-carnitine, is an injectable, 500 milligrams per mil. So it's a meal pre-workout. I don't really use it pre-cardio because I don't do cardio, because I don't need to. And then the other thing is from, again, this is all from Engineered Muscles, so shout out to Riz and Engineer, because I absolutely love their stuff. Again, we've got some Turbo Swole here. I'm not sure. Yeah, so in terms of this, it's got L-arginine, L-ornithine, L-citrulline, L-carnosine, theanine, AMP, and taurine. Essentially, great for pumps. I cannot explain in terms of getting a pump in the gym. Yes, don't get me wrong, but running them all together, probably a bit of overkill, but the difference of running a injectable pre-workout pretty much compared to powders, night and day. Like I could literally do one set and feel like what I'm doing. So just a meal of that. So for example, I'm doing legs, I'll just do a meal in one leg, a meal in the other. The L-carnitine, they're both water-based, so really easy, whereas obviously the cyclone stuff is oil-based. And then intra. So I have pink Himalayan salt. I don't need to show you that. It is what it is. Pink Himalayan salt, I just put a load in. Then we have HBCD, so highly branched cyclodextrin. I just get mine from my Protein because it's cheap. Essentially, really quick energy source during your workout, adds up to your carbs, helps get a pump in the gym. What else do I have? I have creatine. I just dump it in. It's probably more 10 grams rather than the 5 grams, as long as it doesn't affect you digestion wise. There is that. But ultimately, yeah, pre-workout, I think that's it. Sometimes, so you've got Engineered Muscles Turbo Charged, very similar to Turbo Swole, but does have some L-carnitine in, probably better for a prep or fat loss scenario. In terms of the Turbo Swole, just run that year round. There is Twin Turbo, is another one I like, which I haven't used there. I used to use that pre-cardio, can sometimes use that pre-work, because sometimes use it pre-gym, but essentially that's got choline and L-carnitine, and choline is amazing for just a different element of focus as well. Being cardio. I'll be like, ooh. So this is actually where I get massage, guys. This is Dave the Magician. Dave the Magician, and this is legit. Oh. Yes, guys, so when I do any training clips on my vlogs, I'm probably just going to voice over unless I actually do film the vlog and get my face on the camera, which I will do sometimes, but I can't see myself unless I get my pal Jake to film me in sessions. I can't see myself filming too much about my training. Obviously, a big part of this channel and what I do and how I coach is to do with my training, so I will include it. But come on, man, it's 2025. We've seen enough training videos. There are only a certain amount of things where people can train and what they can do. But one thing you guys will notice at the moment, like I say, post my shows, and as you'll see later on this video as to why I didn't prep and stuff. My training at the moment is to increase my rest period, get as strong as possible, still bodybuilding. I'm chucking in a little bit of powerlifting, like literally 2 exercises throughout the week, but my actual split is upper 1, rest, lower 1, rest, upper 2, lower 2, rest. So 4 days a week. And what you are seeing now, which is on the Saturday, it was actually lower 2. So this doesn't have any sort of powerlifting in it. This is purely a bodybuilding session where I've just included some of the top sets. Like as you'll see, a lot of the pump stuff at the moment in terms of like this gym is going to be on the machines. I get along with the machines quite well in here, so just literally trying to get that blood flow, that metabolic stress, not too much mechanical tension work, not too much progressive overload work as such, although I always try and go stronger. This is actually the first time I have hack squatted, especially on this hack for a while, so I just did 5 plates, felt really easy. You might ask Cal why the foam roller, but ultimately with the foam roller, it allows my back and hips to shift into the pad. But yeah, in future vlogs, I'll go over the sessions a little bit more. And then when you see these clips here, this is actually what I look like at the moment.
So I think I'm around 250 pounds. I was around 230 at my lowest during prep. To be fair, not happy. Sorry, I'm not happy. So I am happy. I feel quite big. I feel like I look like a bodybuilder, which is always fun. And to be honest, like again, just seeing where the body fat is, where it sits, to still be able to see lines in certain areas is cool. I feel like on camera you kind of look bigger. But anyway, this is what I look like, 250 pounds, just running 300 tests, but we'll get into that in the next video, so stick around.
And then it looks like there's been sick next to it.
It's not going to wait for you. Right, so post workout. What are you having post workout? I've got cornflakes, 150 gram of cornflakes, some whey protein that we need to order, and a banana, and then any carbs I want. That is pretty much it. So far, it's, to be fair, not usually much more. But very carb heavy post workout. We will use Nova as well, pre and post. That's what I've been doing, and it works amazingly in my opinion. And yeah, no fats. Don't want any fats in our post workout meal. But that is what I'll be having as well. So as you guys can probably tell, throughout the day, most of my meals are carb heavy because I'm a carb heavy guy. But the pre and post, especially with the Nova, which is fast acting insulin for anyone, I'll go through in a different video. Yeah, my meals are really carb heavy. Like I would probably say I try and get nearly 200 grams of carbs pre and post, which is 400 grams of carbs in 2 meals, which is quite a lot. If you think that's what, 1,600 calories just from carbohydrates in 2 meals. So helps my training, helps my strength, which hopefully you'll see on the channel. At least on my Instagram, you'll see that my strength's all right. Yeah. But Em, what are you having?
Good question.
She doesn't know her post because at the moment, as you'll see probably in the next section of the video when we talk about why I didn't do prep, or one of the reasons Em hasn't been training this first day she's trained, so meal plan wise, a bit out the window at the moment, but you know, she's somehow in better shape than me, which is annoying, but yeah. Right, so if you've made it this far in the video, fair play. I'm pretty sure you would have cheated and skipped because I'm going to put it in the bottom when I talk about certain things, so fair play, whatever you've done, fair play. But yes, for those that followed me, or actually, for those that don't follow me, I had planned to do a prep. Sass was my coach, and the idea was to compete when this video goes out a week and a half ago, the weekend before, which is when I'm filming today, the Saturday, so this will be going out on the Wednesday. And then next week as well, now it's going to be a 2 Bros show, regional, PCA Saxon, 2 Bros pro qualifier. I think it would have been a super heavyweight, I'm not sure. But, and this is why I was saying for people that did follow me, I put a post out roughly just under, maybe 3 weeks out, saying that I wasn't going to do it for, what did I call it, family reasons?
I think so.
Saying like family reasons or whatnot. So I'll go into a bit more detail, but I'm not going to go into all sorts of detail. Ultimately, there was more than just one thing, but there was one main thing going on, which has actually, in hindsight, will be super positive. But when you're in prep, one thing, especially for those guys, if anyone's watching or doing the first timers, when you're running, I personally don't think running certain compounds made me feel a certain way. I didn't really notice at the time. I struggle with being low body fat, and I just feel like my brain don't work, and just being able to take in everything that's going on, I found it quite hard to even realise what was happening and all this sort of stuff. But anyway, about 8 weeks out, I think, 7 or 8 weeks out, which actually coincided with me kind of like my legs, I just couldn't walk, I was sleeping all day. It started around that point. But about 8 weeks out, Em over here comes into me when I'm doing my cardio in the morning. She goes, basically, we knew kind of the night before, but we confirmed in the morning that she was actually 1 to 2 weeks pregnant. Now, if you imagine, number one, like I say, I couldn't really take in what was going on in itself. But I've been on cycle, not on cycle, because again, I'll try and educate some of you when I do these vlogs. I haven't been on cycle for 5 years, but I blast and cruise. So essentially, I will blast what we've seen as a normal cycle, but I don't come off. I like bridge the gap between cycles with running hormones that would mimic my kind of natural testosterone. In bodybuilding, we run a tiny bit more to preserve muscle. But anyway, so that was very surprising. Like, I didn't kind of believe it. So that was surprising. And I knew, even of what happened next, I knew that it changed my perspective. I started to think about 8 weeks out that, look, when I eventually have a child, because that had because we obviously thought we was going to have one, I started questioning why I'm even doing it. To me, I don't know, a bit of a weird mindset, but the wins I've had, amateur bodybuilding really means nothing to me. I can care less. Being a pro on the pro stage might have been different, but amateur shows just didn't bother me in the slightest for how crap I would feel by the time I get on stage. But anyway, so yeah, we're completely surprised with that. I don't know how it happened. Don't know how it could have physically happened. But we was kind of, I was kind of just waiting for the hospital to confirm, and but that doesn't come, like some of you would know, that doesn't come along for a while. And then about, I don't really know actually, to be honest.
It was like 2 weeks later, or a week later, I started bleeding.
Yeah, I know, but it couldn't have been because you were 2 weeks, and then but we finished about 7 or 8 weeks, didn't we? It's a 6 week difference, and between the first blood test and the second one was a week.
I think then it was later than you being 8 weeks into prep.
I can't remember the weeks, but anyway, when we found out she was 1 to 2 weeks pregnant, but then in a few days it then changed to 2 to 3 weeks. But anyway, I think a few weeks later or whatever, Em started to bleed, and at the first we were like, oh, that could be normal, but then it kind of went on a bit too long. And realised it wasn't normal. So this is where the kind of messing with your heads and everything comes in. It's like, okay, we went there. She had an ultrasound or whatever, and they kind of confirmed that she had a miscarriage. They couldn't see anything, and that they thought it was a miscarriage. Go on a week, and Em is in excruciating pain for definitely like one night and one day. But was it basically in excruciating pain for a few days, and also they took her bloods actually at the first one. Just to see that her hormone levels weren't going up, to make sure she was like, because that's another indication. I think it was her HCG they look at, and if it's trending up, then you're pregnant. Something like that. Anyway, they also said they then rang us, right, and said, your HCG levels have doubled. So not only have we had news that we've had a miscarriage, and obviously that was very upsetting, heartbreaking, and I won't go into it, but there's way more than just finding out this stuff. Like even how our heads changed towards having a child because of previous stuff that had gone on individually, both in our lives, that had a lot to do with how we felt about the whole situation. So yeah, it was all going on, and yeah, so then we're super confused because they're telling us she's had a miscarriage, but essentially her blood is showing she's still pregnant. So then we go in on the Thursday, which was a week later from the first test, and we were just going for a blood test to double check. They did an ultrasound, and the nurse basically found that she was pregnant. So now we're not miscarrying, we're pregnant again. And I was like, oh bloody hell, we only came for the blood test. And then they say within like 5 minutes, you're going to go into theatre today. You're going to be going into emergency surgery. Basically, it's called an ectopic. It's called an ectopic pregnancy, where the baby just wasn't growing in the womb; it was growing in the fallopian tube. So this was all a lot to take in. And then, yeah, she had emergency surgery that day, finding out that she was pregnant. So technically, then I don't know. You're kind of, I know it's only like 8 weeks long, but you're kind of losing the child as well. She had her fallopian tube taken out, so then there was the worry of like, oh, but is the other fallopian tube damaged, and can we still have children, which happens to be alright. And then Yeah, I think the worst bits then kind of messed with my head even more, which definitely. I think actually by this point, actually backtrack 2 seconds. I'm gonna have to edit this a little bit. Backtrack 2 seconds because of the miscarriage and that, and because my head weren't really in it. Whatever, I had already decided and posted by now that I wasn't doing the show because, like I say, my head wasn't in it. She was looking after me because I couldn't walk. Like I just couldn't walk. Like I wasn't. I just couldn't really walk. My legs just weren't working. It sounds so stupid, but I couldn't do anything. I was absolutely useless around the house. I just couldn't do anything. I was trying to put it in there, but then it was like, obviously, we're both heartbroken. This is going to sound really weird. Em was kind of more heartbroken in the moment because my brain just could not process what the bloody hell was going on, right? So then I'm thinking, like, I was also getting on top of myself on the fact that I was useless because I wanted to be there, even just for my dogs before all this happened. I couldn't do anything. I felt so useless as a person. And I was like, this is shit. And then, obviously, it changed around. I was like, I need to be there for her. So I'd already decided not to do it, which was good timing because then all of this stuff had happened with the ectopic pregnancy. She had a fallopian tube taken out. And then 2 things added to it was just like them going on about it being cremated and buried. And I was like, well, I didn't expect to be asked that question. And fair play that nurses do this or they didn't know what we're doing, but they also showed us a photo post-surgery of the surgery. And if you imagine it's a keyhole surgery, so it's a small camera, but the way they present it on a page almost looks like someone's taken it on an iPhone and it's like enlarged. And yeah, all I'll say is that you see a lot more than you think you're going to see. You can see the shape of stuff and you're like, oh, and that kind of hits hard. But yeah, that was really the main thing. I also then, again, good timing, this sounds terrible, but my granddad then also passed away 2 days later. So this was just all in good timing. But just to backtrack for a second, because this has been 10 minutes, I don't really think I could put this in for 10 minutes, but it is a big bit. So I'll probably leave it in quite, it's like raw and whatever, like raw as in raw video, not as in, I mean, I suppose it's raw as well. It wasn't just that, it was the fact I felt useless, it was the fact that I remember why I didn't prep, and the reason I started this prep was to see if I actually wanted to carry on prepping and bodybuilding, and I just think low body fat, look, I'll be completely honest, I fucking struggle. I hate prep, I hate the way I look. I prefer being big and massive, like actually with more body fat, I just don't enjoy it. The amateur shows, unfortunately, just don't mean anything to me, I couldn't care less. All my wins couldn't care less, so... but yeah, that's it, I'll wrap it up now, it's been 10 minutes, I don't know if I put this all in there. But yeah. What else stays there?
I think you covered it well there.
10 minutes and then chatting absolute waffle. Fuck me.
That was a good. You done it well. That's so gross. You done it well, mate. Proud of you.
I'll also add to the end. Like I say, I don't feel like I felt any of the certain compounds, and the reason why I think this is because I have run Trem before once when I got told to run it too high, and I felt that. And my sleep was impaired, which it wasn't. I've also run MPP before, and I know that can play with your brain, and I do remember feeling at the time, I can feel this working, and I took it straight out. So I don't like it. I don't think anything to do with how I felt and all this good stuff, and I don't think that's anything to do with the compounds, but albeit, coming off and getting more food, I just think it's low body fat that I struggle with. I probably won't even put that bit in, but...